Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
The perennial rivers of Arunachal Pradesh possess the vast potential for fish culture. The state has an extensive and natural network of streams and rivers. The total water area potential for fish culture is estimated at 26,900 hectares. Fisheries development in Arunachal Pradesh is concentrated towards generation of employment and augmentation of fish production from naturally fed ponds as well as agriculturally unsuitable areas. In the recent years, it has been experienced that fish farming is attracting more and more entrepreneurs because of its profitability. One of the main reasons for increasing fish production is that the teeming human population is now impeding upon larger areas under the cultivation of food crops, on account of which the acreage of land under pasture and forest is shrinking every day. This creates a natural pressure on the availability of land, and therefore alternative sources of employment as well as revenue generation have to be looked upon, and fish culture and fish farming is one of them. To revolutionize the pisciculture activities throughout the length and breadth of the state, the thrust areas have been identified as development of all inland fisheries, fish and fish seed farms, enhancement of the fish production through hatcheries, creation of infrastructure facilities for marketing, subsidized programs on rural aquaculture, integrated fish farming, fish farmers development agency among others, motivation of the rural people for conservation of the ecosystem through the participation of the village or group of villages. A domestic fish pond is remunerative in economic terms, and it normally belongs to the individual beneficiary or a community. Fish is a source of cheap and easily digestible animal protein food, and therefore pisciculture can give handsome returns provided it is managed and maintained properly. The ultimate aim of fish culture is to increase production from a limited water body at a minimum cost and time. The three basic requirements for pisciculture are the availability of good fish seed. Thereafter, one requires to have good quality feed so that the fish can grow in a proper time and well. And third and most important is proper management, and this is where farmers have to be given training, and the state is undertaking training of farmers to increase pisciculture all over the state.
Well, when we talk about the fisheries of Arunachal Pradesh, we have to go back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Now, the first and foremost thing which is prevailing in Arunachal Pradesh is the 100% population is more or less fish eater. But the fish cultural activities, what we call as pisciculture, that is the culture of the fish in a confined condition, controlled condition, were not there in the earlier ages. People used to take the fish from the natural waters in the traditional method and used to take it. But so far as the cultural methods are concerned, it was not existing. So with the idea in mind, the government of Arunachal Pradesh started in a very humble way, sometimes back in 60s, to make the people know that fish can be cultured at the controlled condition with their own effort, with their own household also. With the idea, the activity started in a very humble way, sometimes back in 60s. And there was no existence of the Department of Fisheries as such. It was under the Agriculture Department. It was in the form of virtually a motivation just to make the people know that you do the fish culture, you get this benefit. This is the theme of this. If we look back to last one decade, we see there is a lot of difference in terms of production of fish. If we go back to 1987, it was about 500 tons per year. At the end of 97, it is 2,100 tons per year. Equally, fish seed was in the level of 5 millions. It has reached the level of 24 millions. The farmers initially were about less than 1,000. Now it has covered almost direct and indirect beneficiaries are about 6,000. So that way, if we take in one nutshell, we see that it is developing. Fortunately, Arunachal Pradesh is blessed with all types of fisheries activities possible. It is starting from the snow waters in the top, high peak mountains, lakes, coming down to the plains fisheries. In between, whatever the terrain is possible, so all types of fisheries is possible.
The ultimate aim of fish culture is to grow fish to a marketable size in the shortest possible time. It is normally very difficult to specify the marketable size in weight of fish in view of the fact that in India, by and large, fish is marketable at any size. However, generally speaking, a fish of 500 grams and above is of good market value. Moreover, an individual weight of 1 kg or more is highly attractive. Keeping this in mind, in the lap of the picturesque Shergaon village, the Fisheries Department has opened a cold water trout hatchery. Here the eggs of various fish are kept under controlled conditions till they are hatched. The center also acts as a seed multiplication center.
इसका अंदर में मच्छी का जो वो ब्रीडिंग करता है, हैचरी है सर। हैचरी में इसमें मतलब अंडा से निकाल के ट्रे में रख करके तो अंडा निकाल के तो उसी में मेल और फीमेल को फर्टिलाइज करता है। फर्टिलाइज करने के बाद तौला करके तो यहाँ में पानी में रखता है। हैचलिंग मनी उसका जब अंडा जब अभी तैयार होने के बाद वो हैचलिंग होने के बाद उसको दूध और इसका मनी विटामिन चीज़ उसको खिलाना पड़ता है तो हैचलिंग निकलेगा। 2 महीना करीब करीब में ये मैंने ठंडा के ऊपर में है। मौसम थोड़ा गर्म रहेगा वो जल्दी निकलेगा। 2 महीना अंडा में निकल जाएगा। अगर यदि ठंडा जा रहा तो 2 महीना से ऊपर भी लग जाता है। तो वो जब अंडा का अंश से जब हैचलिंग निकलता है तब फर्स्ट में जब यॉकसेट जब खत्म होता है, यॉकसेट खत्म होने के बाद तब अंडा गर्म करके तब उसमें देना पड़ता है। हैचलिंग निकलने के बाद बच्चा को कम से कम खाना ये दूध फ्रेश दूध देना पड़ता है। अंडा का वो जो यॉकसेट देना पड़ता है। ये दे करके कम से कम यहाँ में ऐसे 1 महीना लगभग रखना पड़ता है। 1 महीना लगभग रखेगा तब उसके बाद जब खाना खाने तो 1 इंच करीब करीब आएगा तो उसके बाद हम पॉन्ड में रिलीज करता है।
We are planning to have at least some private fish farmers, at least in a circle. This is our thinking. So that the local people from that area need not be worried about the fish seed supply and all that. From the area itself they can get it.
A successful fish farmer and beneficiary is Zambe Dorji. He practices pisciculture in Selari village of Bamdila district. The income generated through fish farming has enabled Zambe Dorji to start composite farming. People like him represent the changing face of Arunachali society, moving from an impoverished status to a more prosperous one.
सही में मैं 1 साल तक उसको देखभाल करके रखा हूँ। 1 साल के बाद में हार्वेस्ट करके देखा तो करीब मेरे को 60-70,000 मिला था, ये जो 3 पौंड मिल करके। इसके बाद फिर नेक्स्ट साल से और ज़्यादा थोड़ा सा और डीप गया, उसको डीप करके अभी रेगुलर मेरे को ये 3 पॉन्ड में 90,000 जैसा मिलता है मेरे को साल में। और आगे यहाँ से करीब आधा किलोमीटर दूर में मेरा 5 पॉन्ड है, उससे भी काफ़ी मेरे को प्रॉफिट हो जाता है। ये 1989 में स्टार्ट किया है। इसके बाद में 1989 का बाद में जब मेरा पॉन्ड भी स्टार्ट किया और गांव वाला को बोला है, पहला गांव वाला जो है आपको पैडी एक क्रॉप करता था, आपको जून में लगाएगा, उसके बाद में आपको नवंबर महीना में जाके धान हार्वेस्ट करेगा, उसके बाद में लैंड जो है ऐसे ब्लैंक रखता था। तो मैंने गांव वाला को जैसे पंचायत मीटिंग बैठा करके बोला है, आप लोग जब खाली लैंड छोड़ता है विंटर में ऑफ सीजन में, उसमें मछली छोड़ो। तो अभी गाँव वाला को भी बहुत प्रॉफिट आ रहा है। जैसे कि लैंड जो है आप एक क्रॉप लगा के छोड़ने के बाद जंगल हो जाता है, उसका रूट से मिट्टी जो है बहुत टाइट होता है। जब खेती का सीजन आता है काम करते समय में गाँव वाला को बहुत तकलीफ होता था। अभी जब पैडी काम फिश कल्चर स्टार्ट किया करने का बाद में गाँव वाला जैसे 100 लेबर लगने का जगह में जो है 3 लेबर ने काम करके अभी गाँव वाला भी बहुत खुश है।
Aided and guided by the Fisheries Department, villagers are enthusiastically practicing fish farming today. They have formed cooperative societies and community ponds to reap maximum benefit out of this vocation. On account of the varying topography and agroclimatic conditions, the fishery resources of the state are also diverse and varied. Trout, katla, rohu, bhetki are some of the fish that are being cultivated in large quantities in different ponds all over the state.
We are going to have a reservoir, fortunately, maybe within a year or two, as I understand. That is Ranganadi near 0, Lower Subansiri district. Now, Ranganadi reservoirs, what has come? It will have double purpose. One, it will have the tourist attraction. Secondly, we will have a big water bodies to have the fisheries activities. And thereby the availability of fish production will be much more enhanced. And then once we involve the beneficiaries, as I told you earlier, that they are not in the knowledge of this fish culture. It is not, unlike other states, it is not a routine work here. They are too taught. So we have got a training program. We train our farmers before we give them a scheme. Now, once we visualize in a bigger way, our training facilities has also to geared up accordingly.
With an objective of streamlining the fisheries development in Arunachal Pradesh, a number of schemes such as setting up of seed multiplication center, introducing pond culture with necessary input supports are now progressing in different parts of the state. The fish pond culture has been assigned priority. In view of this, the schemes like creation of nursery space, opening of demonstration fish farms, village domestic fish pond, people's fish farms, school fish pond in institutions, and expansion of the existing fish farms and paddy-cum-fish culture have been emphasized by the state government. In addition to this, trout culture in cold water has been introduced in the state, and results are known to be encouraging.
Composite fish farming, otherwise we call it also integrated fish farming, where we rear fish plus live animals like poultry, pig, duckery, etc. By way of earning dual benefit, we used to give them the schemes, and by way of selling eggs, meat, and all. And by the fall of litters and all, the farm being fertilized. So that's why the minimum cost of fertilizers are being checked. That way we get double benefit out of integrated fish farming that we call composite fish farming.
At the moment, we have got a small training center there at Imchi near Dharmuk in this district itself. But we require to gear it up. And we have already taken up the matter with Government of India and hope we'll be getting some assistance from Government of India and things will move better.